What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of After the Credits, the review show that no one asked for. Today we are talking about Nubby's Number Factory. Now, this is a game I had no intention of playing whatsoever. Once again, my buddy Jake, who I've talked about in the last 3 episodes. If you're watching this, Jake, maybe you should use your generosity and kindness for a channel that actually will be able to get your name out there, so you can actually get something for all of your kindness instead of a channel that doesn't get any views. But besides the point, my buddy Jake continuously brought this game up to me over the last couple weeks. Due to that, I looked at a Twitch stream, was unimpressed completely. Didn't think I was ever going to play the game, but a couple days ago he came into one of our Siege streams and was talking about it again. I said, God damn it, Jake, if you're going to keep talking about it, just buy it for me and I'll play it. Well, he did. So now we played it and we beat it. So this is another super indie, very similar to Buckshot Roulette, so it's going to be a shorter episode. But we technically beat it. Technically, we'll talk about that once we get into the video. But without further ado, this intro has gone on way too long. Let's dive into Nubby's Number Factory. Roll the intro. So Nubby's Number Factory was developed by one guy, and then he had another guy do the music. So it's a very small team. That's why I classify it as a super indie, because it is very, very indie developed. But essentially what Nubby's Number Factory is, it is a mix between Plinko and Peggle and a roguelike, kind of all mashed together. And I gotta be honest, man, I didn't give this game a good enough chance when I first looked at it, because I gotta tell you, I'm pretty addicted. So the entire goal of the game is to launch Nubby, who's the purple little circle at the center of the screen, down into the orbs at the bottom of the screen. Now, your goal is to clear levels in order to progress through the game. Each level requires a certain number of score for you to obtain in order to progress to the next level. And to achieve the score, you shoot Nubby into an orb. If the orb has a 2 on it, you'll get 2 points for hitting that orb. Once that 2 orb takes a hit, it will divide in half, which will then lower it to 1. And if Nubby hits that orb again, you will still get the 1 point, but that orb will break. And that is essentially how the game is structured throughout the entirety of the playthrough. That being said, the roguelike elements come into play because you do get different Nubby shops that pop up throughout the game. Now, these can give you there's I think 50 unique items in the game, which is absolutely incredible. So a couple examples, there's a kazoo that you can go ahead and add into your toolbar, and that will double the orb value of a random orb every 1.5 seconds or so that Nubby is alive. Very crucial, obviously. If that number goes up and you hit it, that's more points for you. So the multipliers are always good. And there's other ones that are very similar, like a booger nose, where if you hit a certain orb, it'll just shoot boogers out and they launch all over the screen and do damage in an AoE kind of effect. And like a light switch that you can equip, and every time you hit 10 pegs, it'll shoot a bolt of lightning that'll hit a bunch of random orbs to increase your score. But a bunch of different stuff like that in the game. Obviously not going to go through all 50, but that's where the roguelike elements come in, and honestly, it's super addicting and completely took me off guard. Now, to beat Nubby's Number Factory, you need to clear level 80, and that is the qualification that we hit in order to make this video. So it took me about an hour of just kind of learning the basics of the game and then doing a good run in order to clear level 80. But once you do complete that and you do finish the game, this game adds a whole nother mode called challenges, where there's a ton of different varieties that you can jump into and play that'll spice up the gameplay a lot and add a lot of variety to the playthrough. So there's actually an incredible amount of replay value in this game that took me completely off guard as well. So this is a game that's going to be a long stay in my Steam library, one that I can see myself going back to when I get some free time and just shooting Nubby around the screen a little bit and just watching that number go up and just get that dopamine rush, man. This game does a really good job of just really fitting that need. And I'm just making this video still surprised at how much I like this game, if you couldn't tell. Now, I think the most apparent thing about this game is the visuals. I think the visuals are atrocious. That's one of the main reasons I didn't want to give this game a chance in the first place, is just because, look at this, man. It's not the most appealing art style to say the least. It reminds me of early 90s to 2000s Flash Java games of the time, and I just never really liked that art style to begin with, even back then, and this game captures that wholeheartedly here, so it's not the most appealing game visually for me. But I gotta say, when I got the game in my hands and actually played it, it took me back to a time in my life where I was in school, and obviously the computer lab in school had restricted access to the internet, but there was always a couple websites like coolmathgames.com and a bunch of other sites that we would all figure out. That way, when we had computer time, we would go down and go to these janky ass shitty websites and play games that looked just like this. And while I was playing this game, it just warped me back to that time, and it was incredible. So believe it or not, even though the game's graphics are what they are, pretty bad, it did give me a sense of nostalgia, and there is a little bit of charm there, and god damn it, I actually kind of like it. So this game is just blowing me away at every turn. So I told you guys this was going to be a short one, and it is going to be a short one. Obviously, I don't have a lot to work with based on what's behind me here, as you guys can see. It's pretty straightforward. It's a pretty simple premise, but ultimately it blew me away. I had a lot more fun with this game than I ever thought that I would, and I don't see myself uninstalling it for a very long time, and I see myself going back to this game and working through those challenges as well. It's just really, really incredible. So huge shout out to Mogdog Productions for creating this game. It's an absolutely addicting game. It's a banger. Can't wait to see what you do next. I will continue to follow all of your current projects in the future. Check the website. Looks like a new game's coming out this year sometime, hopefully. So I'm very excited to see what you come up with next. As far as where this game goes on our tier list, the S to Cheeks tier list, I'm going to go ahead and put Nubby's Number Factory in the B tier. So it's going to take a spot above our other super indie that we played, Buckshot Roulette. Buckshot Roulette scored a 5, got a C. Nubby's, again, is just a more substantial video game. The fact that it adds a whole new mode after completing the game to give you more replay value. There's actually also different managers that you can actually select as well. I don't know how that varies the gameplay, but there's just a lot in this game here that can keep you glued into this project for quite a long time, and that alone is going to go ahead and bump it up to the B tier. The replayability in this game is absolutely phenomenal, and it blew me away. So absolutely really love this game, and I highly recommend y'all check it out. It's $4.99, I believe, on Steam. Well worth that price, especially if you just want a fun, relaxing game to kick your feet up to and just chill. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks so much for watching another episode After the Credits. Again, huge shout out to my buddy Jake. Thank you for putting me onto this one. Great time. So I appreciate the hell out of you. And if you watched to the end, thank you so much for all the support on all the videos. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys are enjoying, and we will have more to come in the future. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other. We'll talk to you guys later.